Alrighty, welcome back everyone, it is LaughNgamez here. Today we're back with another Starcraft 2 1 vs 1 replay cast. Today we have ourselves a Protoss versus Zerg on the map Frozen Temple. It should definitely be a good game here between these two players. So without further ado, spawning down the bottom right hand side of the map, it is the Protoss player in the red, puCK. puCK, a very well-known North American Protoss, and he's going up against another North American player, spawning up in the top left-hand side of the map, the Blue Zerg, I believe playing for Team Cray Squad, I believe that's it. It is McMonroe. Now, puCK definitely the more known of these two players, but McMonroe is a Grandmaster level player, and I was actually reading up on him. You know, I just like to make sure that the players are who they are when I'm casting them. So I was actually checking up, and he's actually like, it's not like he's one of the guys who's been in the scene a long time. He's actually fairly recently a Grandmaster player, so lots of motivation to play, I guess, being new and all that. But anyway, so from these two players, we just have a standard opening from McMonroe here, going for a hatchery first, following it up with a gas, and what a surprise, a spawning pool. Very standard stuff going on here. Meanwhile, puCK going for the wall off on the low ground. Lots of Protoss players like to do it. Not necessarily all the time though, but on a map like this, it's so easy to wall off. You literally need a gateway, and I believe just a cybernetics core and then a probe or a zealot to wall that off. So puCK may as well go for this macro route, while if you consider a nexus after a gateway, the macro route. We'll really see what these players are doing in a second here when they sort of define their strategies. McMonroe mining the gas, unsurprisingly. Zerg players pretty much always go for Zergling speed. In fact, I don't think I've seen a game in which a Zerg player has skipped Zergling speed in a long time here. So anyway, we have that speed should be starting up in a second for McMonroe once he gets enough gas. The question is whether he'll pull out of that gas or whether he'll keep mining it. I think quite a few Zerg players do like to pull out of that gas and have that little bit of extra minerals from those drones being free to mine. And yes, he is, so they are transferring right away. And that's going to give him a good economic position while having that Ling speed control. Meanwhile, puCK making an adept. Protoss players definitely love their adepts right now. And I think since the unit was introduced, pretty much. So we've got puCK, though, following this up with two gases here. Needs to get those probes running. Look at that. Those probes could have gone for the long trip, but puCK held them there for a second so they can drop their minerals. But puCK doesn't need to send them back to mining. Okay, there we go. Not sure what was the more efficient decision right there. This one adept sending out a shade, scouting everything. puCK might run across the map with it, and probably will, as unless there's a sudden large amount of Zerglings, this adept will be able to get some scouting information off. And the adept can poke and prod until Zergling speed is done. Third base for McMonroe. puCK will want to scout and confirm this. I assume his depth's running up north. Yes, it is. It's going to see that, and puCK's going to go, oh, okay, so I know what to expect now. Meanwhile, puCK playing the ever so common Protoss style. We've got the resonating glaives coming out here. The question is he going to make a few adepts and then take a third base? Or is he going to go for a adept attack and try to get lots of damage done with the quick he's not exactly chrono boosting out the resonating glaives yet, so he's not in a super big rush or anything. Oh, there we go, he is now chronoing it out, so he will probably try to get some damage done with these adepts. But some players have just been making a few adepts, poking and prodding, taking a third base, then teching here. Although I don't think a third base is an option for puCK right now, at least until there's a few more adepts, and you can't really get a few more adepts until this warp gate research is done. Wow, that's actually insane timing there. A resonating glaives almost finishing is only going to be like about not even a minute, I don't think, behind the warp gate research. So there will be a lot of powerful adepts coming out in the second tier. puCK does have only 3 gateways right now, no robo on the way, so probably just going to be an adept poke at the front, I assume. One overlord did go down trying to get a scout on that, and I think it basically saw everything. There was a bit of black space left, so there could be a possible hidden dark shrine, but McMonroe actually moved in with an overlord and tried to confirm everything. He saw there was no dark shrine, so he doesn't really need to be worrying. Third base up for puCK. McMonroe making a few roaches, as he did see those adepts, so he wants to be safe. Very good decision from him there. And now here we see puCK making his tech of choice. It was sort of odd how he was going just for 3 gateways and quick resonating glaives, but this explains it a bit. He's following it up with a Dark Shrine, gonna try to end the game that way by obviously catching McMonroe off guard, but I don't think that's going to happen for McMonroe. As he's playing it safe, he's getting up a lair, getting up a Spore Crawler in the main. One in the natural would do him very well for when these DTs are out. But he does have about another minute or so before they are a threat. puCK is going to be wanting to get out a Warp Prism here so he can warp in those DTs very quickly. McMonroe just making roaches and lings. Interestingly enough, he's making roaches and lings, but he's focusing more on that melee upgrade for these lings. Meanwhile, the adepts are just ever poking and prodding up at the front. The lings are just staying back as they do not want to go down to the adepts, whereas the roaches can sort of tank the adepts fairly well. And now these adepts are sort of running by the space. They're just casually strolling by here. The lings are going to try and get on top of them, but the adepts will shade through those quickly, then sort of go where they want to. That shade is cancelled, so puCK killing, I believe, that what was a handful of Zerglings there and not losing anything. Meanwhile, though, the economy is going to be getting pretty scary for McMonroe here. He doesn't have the best creep spread right now. He is just starting to work on that more, and he's actually getting up a 4th base. But he's got an absurd amount of workers right now. He's completely even oversaturating his 3rd base, so very well is McMonroe in the economy department, as long as he can hold off these DTs. And look at this. Was this scouted? It wasn't ever scouted, but puCK, this is so interesting. Protoss players lately have been going for a double Archon drop here. Usually a Protoss will go for a double Archon drop if there's detection and they know there's detection, and that the DTs aren't going to really have any other uses. But puCK playing this so dangerous with this Warp Prism, just dropping these Archons, trying to pick off lings here, as the Archons are just so effective versus lings. And look at this. I guess McMonroe might realize how dangerous this can be, as Archons can definitely get great harassment, and he's throwing up another Spore. But that was cancelled there. Very well done by McMonroe, though. Cancelling that and then just remaking it right away. So all in all, I think this situation favors McMonroe right now, as he's getting up the 4th base, looking for a 5th base too. I guess he's saying, alright, I can lose a base, maybe take some harassment one, but I have a spare, so that will do him. He's getting up Baneling speed, so playing this Ling Bane style, as he did get that melee upgrade at first. 23 Banelings on the way. I guess McMonroe's deciding, okay, you went for some harassment. You're not going to have the largest army in the world, and puCK is completely unaware of this right now. 23 Banelings. There's actually nothing left with the Banelings. This could possibly just be a Nexus snipe here coming out of McMonroe. He's going to run to these probes. Is puCK going to react? So far, no, but this is an absurd amount of Banelings. I don't know what to make of this. All the probes are going down to the Banelings, and are they just going to crash into the Nexus? No, there's not enough to kill the Nexus, so they're just going to sort of walk around awkwardly, and that was amazing by McMonroe. How many probes did he kill there? He killed about 20 probes with that Baneling attack. I mean, it was about 20 Banelings for 20 probes, but definitely worth it. Very well done by McMonroe. Meanwhile, puCK trying to get some counter damage done with these adepts, but ultimately it's not happening here. We see another Archon on the way for puCK. I guess he realizes that he does need to be able to defend, and I think he lost a good amount of his adepts to those Banelings. Now McMonroe's preparing for a large attack. McMonroe army upgrade advantage. These 2 Archons for puCK are out on the map. They're not going to be here to defend. Is puCK going to bring them back? No, he's just sort of leaving there for now, and they're going to actually be caught by these Ravagers here. One of them is going to go down. Meanwhile, McMonroe pushing on all sides. More Banelings to the 3rd base here. Going to take out so many more probes, and puCK's economy is going to be not too well. I mean, it's not terrible right now. 54 probes is not the worst amount, but it's definitely not a good situation compared to the situation of McMonroe. McMonroe sending, just rushing in with Zerglings here. Immortals not the most efficient unit at killing Zerglings, but in small numbers they can shave them off there and are very tanky. So puCK got a good army composition versus just lings, but if McMonroe decides to morph in another, I don't even know what the term is for basically a lot of Banelings, if he decides to morph in another large amount of Banelings, it will sort of just kill everything but the Immortals and the Archons, and then they can be picked off. I guess puCK's feeling a bit desperate, deciding that he needs to go for an attack here. Another Archon on the way, and this attack could do very well. The Immortals could shred the Ravagers, the Archons, the Lings, but If there's banelings, and there's 13 on the way right now, but they're actually, oh my gosh, he doesn't stop. McMonroe going for another two-pronged attack with these banelings. The question is, will he be able to hold on while puCK's going for an attack? And I guess it doesn't really matter, as we saw that other base one-tap for McMonroe early on right now, and now he's going for a massive counter-attack. Once again, these banelings, I think they're just going to be able to crash through this stalker and adept. The banelings actually detonating on that. That's not important right now. No massive engagement going down. I believe the warp prism for puCK was picked off. He's going to lose all his units as a result right now. The Archons are going down. The 2 Immortals, yeah, not trading with these Lings efficiently this time. puCK might be able to save. He saves 1 Immortal, doesn't manage to save the Archon. He actually, that one of the Banelings made it through the wall and then just exploded right there. So puCK, he's sort of holding on, but he's not in a good situation as he's only on 3 bases, starting to mine out. Double Immortals are on the way, so Roaches and Ravagers won't be the biggest problem right now, but there is not too many units for puCK right now. He's down on army supply a drastic amount. And I just realized army supply is not even showing right there for some reason, but we can see that puCK has a lot less stuff. I guess that's probably my fault. I've been changing up some hotkeys lately, trying to get better observing going on. But it seems that puCK's doing a good job holding right now. The Warp Prism is such a valuable tool to hold an attack like this, but puCK's gateways are empowered. His natural is completely exposed. But I guess as long as puCK, a player who's very good at microing, can always try to hold on in a situation like this if he has a Warp Prism, I guess. But I think more probes have gone down there. I mean, puCK's sort of losing probes at the rate in which his bases are mining out, so his economy is staying more or less the same, just not good. By all means, and no 4th base on the way for puCK, so he's in a very tough situation. And it looks like he might just go for one final attack, I'm thinking, but it's going to be a very desperate attack. McMonroe doubling the supply of puCK, and McMonroe is actually on Hive Tech. He's getting towards Ultras. puCK does have 2 robotics base, so he can make a mass amount of Immortals, but this is dire straits for puCK right now, and I don't know how much longer he's going to stay on in the game. As McMonroe, massive economic advantage, massive unit advantage. puCK, I think he's going to go for one final attack here, or maybe might just die to McMonroe's final attack here, as there's so many links. How many Zerglings is there on the map right now? There is 80 Zerglings on the map, 10 Banelings, more Lings on the way. This is going to be a very tough hold for puCK right now. Forced to evacuate the 3rd base. Look at these Banelings chasing all these probes. puCK, oh no, the probes actually somehow make it out of there, but I don't know if it's going to be important enough. The Mothership Core needs to throw down Photon Overcharge to try and hold this attack. The Archons are staying alive and are doing massive damage versus Lings, but this is so many Lings, this is so many Ravagers. Going to crash on through and just start destroying what's left for puCK. puCK, once again, amazing micro with this Warp Prism and Immortals, keeping them alive, but they sure have their work cut out for them. A good amount of kills on each Immortal. 21 kills on that one, so the Immortals are doing massive amounts of damage, but they are all going down. 2 Immortals in a Warp Prism can only do so much, and GG is called as McMonroe takes the game. Alright, so thank you guys for watching. If you've enjoyed the cast, feel free to let me know. If you have any casting feedback, feel free to let me know. I know that cast was a bit crazy, as I actually have been trying to mess around with some settings and stuff, so this was a bit of an impromptu cast. It was just like, hey, why not do a cast right now? So, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the cast, feel free to let me know. If you enjoy the content, feel free to subscribe, as long as I can find good replays to cast, good original replays to cast is what I go for. These games are not many people watch them, so I figure it's cool for me to bring them out otherwise. And anyway, I shall see you guys next time.